does not want this here. And our council people who work so hard to keep this neighborhood safe certainly does not want that here. So with that, I'm gonna give it to Michelle Lyons. She's the council person for this whole area. She works tirelessly. My phone blows up over the weekend from Michelle. Michelle is great, you know. Michelle, tell them how you feel.
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity. But one of the things that I would like to say is that Sacred Heart is working with the police department to make sure that we can establish some safety relationships. Over the past few years, they have stepped up to the plate. We have a new chief, AJ, and we're working diligently. We are also going to be taking matters in more stricter matters to keep this from happening with out-of-town investors coming in here and establishing homes and making a profit off the city of Bridgeport, which then enables and opens up doors for Sacred Heart to be in awkward positions at times, as well as the police working diligently where they have more important things to do. But one of the things we will do is work on more stricter quality of life issues with the police. And there's a couple ordinances now that are going to be in effect, and the mayor will stand behind it. And there'll be more information that coming in the ordinance where a lot of these investors will not be able to come in, and which opens the door to underage drinking. And that is the subject matter today. We will not tolerate, the police will not tolerate our homeowners and our constituents and neighbors in the Bridgeport, and the police department will not handle and not tolerate underage drinking at the price of other people making financial progress on this. Thank you.
Over the years, Sacred Heart has worked with certainly the Bridgeport Police, the Mayor's Office, Councilwoman Lyons, and many of the neighbors who are here. We've had a number of neighborhood meetings, and we continue to work to try to enforce as best as we can quality of life issues in the neighborhood. Including about a month ago, we met with representatives of the Bridgeport Police, knowing that as the warm weather comes, that's typically when some of the issues will arise, to kind of come up with a game plan. Following up on that, we sent an email to all of our students kind of informing them of what had occurred at that meeting and what the consequences would be both on campus as well as with the local police. So we take it seriously. We do what we can to try to minimize any quality of life issues. And I know that one of the things that a lot of the neighbors would like, probably happy to hear of, obviously you see our resident hall that will be completed in July. That's going up right on Park Avenue. That'll be 216 more beds on campus. And as we begin to renovate the Jewish home property, that'll add another 500 beds on campus. So we will be filtering the students back to campus. Hopefully in the next 2 to 3 years, we'll have those 700 plus beds in total on campus. And certainly, going back to the incident that occurred last week, it's a tragedy, and it is something that we are, I can't put into words at this point how we feel about what occurred. We take steps throughout the course of the year to educate our students on, through Social Norms marketing campaign that talks about helping each other and not letting students get into situations like that. But unfortunately, as college-age students are still kind of going through a learning process, and it's an educational process throughout the 4 years that they're there. So, but moving forward, and as we have in the past, we will continue to partner with the city and the neighbors and the Bridgeport Police.
Michelle, you mentioned before the press conference began, you said there were some steps that were going to be taken to make sure it was a safer environment, maybe some fees, or what, you explain that, please.
Yes, what I was sharing, this will help not only the neighbors, Sacred Heart, and the police. The steps will be taken is putting in 2 new ordinances based upon Hamden has already has it established. So it will cause not only students and constituents and everybody to be safer. Like I said, one of the ordinances will be that any future homes being purchased in the city of Bridgeport will be looking to have them homeowner occupied. If they're going to have students with them, they'll have to be in the house. The other one that we're going to be putting into effect is if there's some grandfathered in based upon that's what Hamden has been done, then what we will be doing, we'll have a renewal package, and they will have to give a large amount of information. One, they will have to say how many parking spaces that they have per student. That would be one incident. There will be a fee to this. And there's a lot of information in this packet that will be coming forth within the next couple weeks. And this will be, I believe, will be a benefit to everyone. And it will also will help students, you know, as well, because then it'll help place them in a protective environment as well. Thank you.
So may I just follow up quickly? So you're going to be passing these ordinances?
Well, it's sent right now to the ordinance committee, okay? And right now it's sitting right there to be sharpened up and looked in by attorneys and to go over with the police department, you know, Sacred Heart, how we can make this, and, you know, with the neighbors, how we can make this a strong, safer neighborhood and our quality of life issues so everyone will be safe. Not just one person, but students, as well as constituents, as well as in the police to help them, and as well as to get our zoning and all our laws more stricter to be benefit to everyone. Thank you.
Chief, the Golden Star, was that completely shut down?
No, that is, there's a process to that, and the Liquor Commission will be coming down to take a look at it. They're going to deal with all the violations that we found, including the summonses to the Sacred Heart students, and most likely they will be shut down at that point.
Is that a 21 plus only place, or was it 18 plus? Like, what are the rules of the establishment there?
You got to be 21 years old to drink in Connecticut, and that's that, you know. And you had kids there, 17 years old. It's not going to happen.
So not all the underage drinking was 18 plus; they were younger.
Yeah.
So were there Bridgeport police officers moonlighting as bouncers there?
There were 2 officers that have been placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of a internal affairs investigation. When I found out on Wednesday morning, well, actually Wednesday morning I was pretty happy when I first heard the news that the place had been raided, as I had instructed. And then later on, Captain Fitzgerald informed me that there were 2 officers there moonlighting. I immediately took action and put those guys on their administrative leave. I contacted the Office of Internal Affairs, and I met personally with Captain Garcia, and there's an ongoing investigation as we speak. This morning, I brought the officers in, and in no uncertain terms, I express my disappointment, my true disappointment. So I'm very disappointed in what they did.
Is there an express rule that they broke, that they're not allowed to do that sort of thing? Or?
Yeah, they know. They know. I mean, it is what it is. I'm dealing with it, and I'm not going to tolerate it. Not going to happen. Not on my watch.
So as far as the establishment goes, it's a 21 plus place, and bouncers were letting 18-year-olds in, and therefore, and then the bartenders were serving them.
Yeah, they had fake IDs. You know, we confiscated all the IDs. We have a ton of them. You know, it was bad. You can't have that. This is something that we did in the past. We did it with there was an establishment over on Park Avenue and one on Fairfield Avenue. We shut them down. It's not going to happen. We're not going to allow that.
Are there
These
other
are kids. Go ahead. I'm sorry. These are kids. They're not. Their brains are not even developed yet, and they're going to make mistakes. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to serve and to protect them. But imagine you send your child to school, and they're in a bar drinking, and no, it's not going to happen. We're not going to have that.
Are you looking at any other establishments to do the same sort of, you know, looking at making sure they're following the rules at other bars or in the area?
Yes, we already have plans in the works. We're going to look at everything, at everybody in the city of Bridgeport. You good?
Everybody good?
What about in the neighborhoods, like party houses in the neighborhoods?
That's something that we do through the patrol division. I have here Deputy Chief James Hannes. Maybe he can answer that question for you. Hang on.
Yeah. Good morning. Your question is regarding the house parties. Yes, we have for several years now worked with the Sacred Heart University, their security, their dean of students, Mr. Wilkes spoke earlier, and we work closely with their security department, and usually like flyers or social media gets out there where there's a party or a particular address. So we, the police department, in partnership with Sacred Heart Security, will go and monitor that particular house address where a party's going on and knock on the door and advise them of rules, regulations, what will be tolerated, what won't be tolerated. And we've been doing this for several years, and we'll continue to do that, as Mr. Wilkes stated, with the warmer months and warmer weather coming. This usually kicks up at that time, so we will be working on that as that occurs.
Can somebody explain why this news conference was held here at this location, just so we understand the exact significance of this location?
I don't have the answer.
Sure.
Well, one of the reasons is because it's quality of life issues and safety issues for the neighborhood, as well as, you know, with the situation that happened with that student. It's to bring awareness, not only to the neighborhoods, but also to the students, that there's a lot of things that are happening in this world today that you have to be very careful on. And also to make them aware that that the city of Bridgeport will not tolerate any of this going on. And not only that, that we have to make sure, even though they're here for a season, all students, no matter who they are, we're here to protect them as well. And the police and the constituents do not want this to happen either in their neighborhoods as well, and as well as to students as well. Thank you.
You want to do something?
My name is Cheryl Lee Norco. I've lived in this neighborhood for about 10 years. Over the last few years, we really have built a good relationship, I think, with Sacred Heart University, and trying to get the parties in the area controlled and work with the students to have a little more respect. But the problem we have, and I think the problem that Sacred Heart has, is they're not the police. We live in Bridgeport. We need more officers. Our officers are taxed. I mean, it's a city. We know what happens here. One of the things we've been asking for to help control these parties is to have an officer placed up in this area on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. You do that, and these kids have repercussions from it, you're going to control a lot of the problems, and you're going to have a lot less difficulty and a lot less episodes like this. So that's what we, the neighbors, would like to offer as a suggestion. Okay?
Shirley, can you just say, can you spell your name for me?
Cherylee.
And your last name?
Norco, Norko.
If there's no more questions, I thank you for coming, and have a great day.